If you follow me on Instagram, then you saw that as soon as I left the theater after watching The Creator, I said, "It's been a minute since a movie has made me cry." I also said I should have known, but honestly, how could I have known? There was no prepping for how beautiful and peaceful and sad that movie is. Hi friends, welcome back, or just welcome if you're new here. I'm here as a friend to give you my spoiler-free thoughts on the latest movie that I've watched in theaters, or maybe something I've watched while cozied up at home. If you're looking for my thoughts on a specific movie, DM me on Instagram, let me know in the comment section on YouTube, or let me know on the podcast. Tune in for new episodes every Friday, and don't forget to follow the podcast, subscribe on YouTube, all the things so you don't miss out on what I'm watching and what we're going to be talking about. On a lighter note, because I might have started this off a little bit heavy, but honestly, we're going to get into it because let's be real, crying doesn't always mean something sad. Anyway, on that lighter note, we're going to talk about a movie I had zero interest in watching because I thought it was basically the same premise as a Netflix movie that I watched a couple years ago. Then I looked up that movie that I thought it was, and I realized they are 100% not the same thing. Oops. Let's talk about The Creator. As a future war between the human race and artificial intelligence rages on, ex-Special Forces agent Joshua is recruited to hunt down and kill the Creator, the elusive architect of advanced AI. The Creator has developed a mysterious weapon that has the power to end the war and all of mankind. As Joshua and his team of elite operatives venture into enemy-occupied territory, they soon discover the world-ending weapon is actually an AI in the form of a young child. I'm gonna say this right up front, this is a 2-hour and 13-minute movie. And it feels like 2 hours and 13 minutes. There were moments where I was shifting in my seat and thinking, this is a really long movie. It helps too that the movie is broken up into chapters, which is not only stylistically unique, but it's also mentally refreshing. Of course, this isn't a long movie for no reason. The story and characters truly benefit from that runtime, and so do we. The audience gets so much time in this world, we spend a lot of time with the characters, and the idea of ethics and morality. This movie is visually stunning, and I cannot express to you enough how good this movie looks. When I saw the trailers, I was excited about robots because I love robots, but the effects look so good. In addition to that, I was looking forward to the wide visuals like the landscapes in cities. The trailers really don't do this movie justice. It's visually gripping, and those visuals are groundbreaking consistently throughout the movie. Touching back on the story, and eventually we'll get into the acting, this story is thought-provoking. I think if you don't consider the rights of AI and the humanity of technology on a daily basis, or it's just something you don't really think about, then it's absolutely potentially thought-provoking. On the other hand, it might be a little ridiculous because the way this old guy was laughing at the wrong moments in this movie is wild to me. But this honestly isn't for everyone. These ideas and concepts might not be as interesting to you as it is to me or other people. Before I start getting ahead of myself, let's focus back on the story. It's thought-provoking and it's compelling. It's a beautiful story that evokes a reaction not only because you can see parts of society reflected in the characters or elements and ideas, but also because you can see the love, growth, and change. I'm gonna start thinking about it too much and I'm gonna start crying again, you guys, so let's move on. Let's talk about that character growth, that character development, because it's organic, it's beautiful, and I cannot say enough good things about John David Washington as Joshua. Washington really delivered an honest and grounded performance, and again, that character development is so clear and raw from start to finish. Gemma Chan, because I love me some Gemma Chan. As Maya, she is amazing. Gemma Chan is just ethereal, and she really brings a sense of grace and strength to Maya that carries throughout the film. She's so easy to connect to, and I love every moment that she's on screen, as well as that chemistry she has with Washington. You could really feel it, and it just immerses you not only into the story of the movie, but Joshua's journey as well. Ken Watanabe is a 10 every time, no matter what, and he should have had more screen time. Harun is such an interesting character, and I love the relationship between Watanabe's Harun and Washington's Joshua. There's so much history that informs their relationship and the idea of humanity and AI. Honestly, all of Joshua's relationships reinforce the relationship with AI, and speaking of which, Madeline Una Voiles as Alfie. If you've been here for a minute, then you know. If you're new here, what's up? I'm generally when it comes to child actors because they're so young. I don't give much critical thought about their performance one way or another. That said, I was completely blown away by Madeline's performance in this movie. As Alfie, she absolutely captures your heart, and honestly, her story and her history really inform this. But the story aside and focusing on the performance, she is so adorable, and you just can't not love Alfie. She had a ton of screen time with Washington, and together they really deliver that bond between the characters, and I love their chemistry. Again, you could really feel it, and the development of these characters and their relationship was so natural, and it really elevated the story. Alright, so what did I think about the movie? Is it worth watching? Let's just put it all out there. Yes, absolutely, this movie is worth watching in the cinema if you have not seen it already. This movie is visually stunning. The story is thought-provoking, and the acting is incredible. This movie really is an experience, and it felt like it. For me, anyway. Like I said, I really love sci-fi and robots. Again, the idea of morality and ethics and how that relates to AI. Like I said earlier, when I almost got off track about that old guy laughing in the theater, without giving spoilers, it was a moment in the movie where it raised the question of programming versus humanity. Does the robot or AI care, or is it just programmed to care? Programming that is not actually real. Man was laughing out loud, and I'm having a whole moment because it's such an interesting concept to think about. Again, the conversation of ethics and morality. I would say if you're not interested in sci-fi, that conversation, or if a story that's pretty heavy-handed with war and what it does to their mentality and environment, then I would skip this one. But if you're open to that conversation and you're a fan of the genre, then this one is a must watch. Have you seen The Creator yet? If you saw the movie already, what did you think about it? I love everything about this movie. I especially love those striking visuals, the engaging characters, their relationships, and how thought-provoking this movie is. Alright, movie fans, that brings us to the end of the video. If you're listening on the podcast, thank you very much. Check out the description below for a link to the podcast. If you're watching here on YouTube, leave the video a thumbs up if you like the video, so I know you like the video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and for catching today's episode. You can listen to new episodes every Friday, and make sure you subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify, all the things, so you don't miss out on the next movie we're going to be talking about. Last weekend of September was jam-packed. I watched The Creator, saw 10, The Exorcist, and then that following weekend, I watched The Exorcist Believer. So I'm trying to get all my ducks in a row. Give me some time. It's all on its way. Saw 10 was actually so much better than I expected it to be. If you've been keeping up with me for the past few episodes, then you know I wasn't really expecting too much from this movie, but the way it delivered everything. It was a lot of fun. It was interesting, and I really love how the focus shifted a bit in terms of storytelling from the previous installments. My thoughts on that one also posted today, so if you want to check out that episode, you can listen on YouTube and on the podcast. We got a little bit backed up, so the episode on The Exorcist Believer will drop next week on my birthday. That's a lot of fun, and definitely more exciting than the movie actually was, but we'll talk about that next week. After that, I am finally dropping my thoughts on No One Will Save You. That's going to be a podcast exclusive. The plan is to drop both episodes on the same day, so keep an eye out for both of those. Some things had to get shifted around because I've been starting work much earlier for the past 2 weeks, and honestly, I am so tired. I'm trying to get used to the schedule and make time for writing, recording, and editing. I'm figuring it out though, so it's all going to post eventually. So I hope you'll join me on YouTube and the podcast, especially for those exclusive episodes. I would love to hear from you guys, so please let me know your thoughts on today's episode or just your thoughts on the movie that we talked about today in the comments section on YouTube or on Spotify. I want to know what you're thinking, so let me know wherever you are listening or on Instagram at a.rocket.review, and I'll talk to you guys next week. But until the next episode, spread positivity, be safe, take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!